We apologize if we do have some technical difficulties here. Hopefully we'll get that fixed here real soon. As Lucas Sullivan scores a fall down there for Mineral Point, and he moves on to the semifinals at 138 for Mineral Point. Good match down here, like I said, at 132 on the black mat. That is, again, Trevor Paulson taking on Elliot Biba. Ian Krapp in our center mat, he moves up his score even higher, and there's the fall for Ian, as he'll score that at 132 pounds, and he'll move on to the semifinals with a second period pin. Very quickly, we're going to get about to the halfway point of this first round. As we look down at mat number 1, we're already up to 145, and that would be Zach Moline from Aquinas as he takes on Tyson Emhoff from Iowa Grant Highland in a 145-pound bout. Down on our black mat, we have a 4-4 tie down there now with 35 seconds to go in the second period. Then on our center mat, we're going to move up to 145-2, and that will be Siler Zenzevich as he takes on Easton Dahman from Pittsville. So get pretty quickly here. We're getting close to the halfway point of our first round. Hope you're enjoying the action here, and hopefully our broadcast is going through as we hoped. Still no points. There's points for Paulson as he takes down Biba at the end of the second period there. As we move on to the third period, as Paulson holds a 6-4 edge against Biba. There's another one. I wish, like Ken says, they probably should have printed that out too. Iowa Grant Highland in the semifinals beat Aquinas earlier this week on Tuesday night, not last week, earlier this week on Tuesday night. And I think this was maybe one of the key matches that night. Center mat here at 145. We sit here beside the Aquinas fans. They're happy as another 2-point takedown by Paulson as he's now up 9-4. And now he got Biba right to his back, close to scoring the fall down there. And this would be, I would say, not so much an upset, but it would be a big win for the Aquinas team. 9-4 as he's going to at least be up 12-4. Got over a minute to go for Biba to bridge off his back. He's going to really have, this could be the end of Elliot Biba's season there. Thought I heard a slap of a mat, and I guess we did. That was down here at 145. That was the young man. There's the pin down there for Paulson from Aquinas as he pins Biba. At 145, we also had a pin by Siler Zenzevich from Fenimore as he pinned his opponent in the first period. That could be the end of the junior season for Elliot Biba. Kind of surprised. The young man was in the state finals last year, and now this year he came through a really tough super regional, but I don't think he expected to see it end the way it did here in the first round. We'll see what happens with the wrestleback opportunity for him. Moving on then to 138, down there on mat number 3. That is one of our first wrestlers from Independence. That's Sam Marzalek. He takes on Caden Linder from Iowa Grant, another senior from Iowa Grant Highland. And then down here on mat number 1, we still have Tyson Emhoff as he's out to an 8-2 lead over Zach Moline. Zach Moline was your super regional champion last week at Aquinas. And Emhoff coming through here as a fourth place finisher last week at 145. So this is another could be another big win here for Iowa Grant Highland. After suffering that other loss down there in the previous weight class, they kind of would like to have something like that. Our center mat, we're all the way up to 152, the orange mat, which I guess is in the bottom corner. This is where you start getting into Aquinas' better wrestlers, too. This is Robert Flagey as he takes on Seth Greeno from DeSoto, one of the few entrants that we have here from DeSoto. Chad Johnson's crew, we want to mention them because just always fun to be around Chad Johnson and the crew from DeSoto there. We get a pin down there at 138, and that was Linder from Iowa Grant Highland as he completes that weight class. And just as I get that out of my mouth, Flagey pins his opponent from Seth Greeno from DeSoto. And I would say again, as Ken and I were talking about, if you're going to lose, I would like to lose to somebody like him because that gives me a chance to come back for a wrestleback.
Yeah, and Seth is only a sophomore. He's a good sophomore, so watch out for him. He's going to have another chance, I think, for a wrestleback.
Yep, I don't think his day's done.
No.
So that's going to move us on. You better start paying attention, Mr. Manning, because I think one of your relatives is out there.
Uh-oh. I'm trying to check on some other things. I've got other relatives that are texting me, telling me stuff.
Okay.
But I'll
bring you up to date.
I'm just going to stop.
Dylan O'Brien, New Lisbon, and these two have seen each other taking on Lincoln Manning. Take it away, Ken, on that orange mat.
All right. Well, thanks so much there, Kirk. Lincoln Manning taking on O'Brien. O'Brien coming in as a junior, 30-13. Lincoln a senior at 27-7. And right now, a scramble here on their feet. Trying to get a throw here is O'Brien, and Manning scoots underneath on a little duck under and comes up with the takedown.
145 in our far mat there. That would be number 1 ranked Taryn Riley taking on Garrett Dragan from Royal Waniwak. And he's out in front there, 5-0.
Taking a look here, they'll stop and come right back. Yeah, my son Tyler was trying to text me. Apparently, camera was a little blurry. I didn't realize that. He was able to see that. That was on mat 3. So we got that squared up. And my commercials, I didn't know this. They said that, he said, well, you got music and talk going on. I'm like, no, I'm supposed to have had the audio down, so I just stopped that one. So here is O'Brien trying to kick through on a guillotine move by Manning. Now Manning's coming out on top here. Has a headlock. O'Brien turning back. Now Manning gets it set up a little tighter. Has things locked up here, and there's the fall.
Nice job.
Well, he got a little high, but is able to kick back and secure that pin. And now he'll wait and take on the winner between Lasivsky of Pittsville and Meese of Riverdale.
And a final down there at 145. That was Emhoff winning 11-7 over Moline. So that was a big win for the young man from Iowa Grand Island as he will take on Silers and Zavage. So 2 of your higher ranked guys getting beat there at 145. As I said earlier, and we'll say many times again, throw all the records out because you're in state tournament series run here, and you can turn your whole season around right on this weekend and next weekend.
Yes, for sure.
So that moves us up to 152, and we got one last 45-pound match down here. Is the other 2 of them going on at once, 145. But the last one, we want to watch that. That's down on mat number 1. That's Garrett Vatlin from Westby, the fine senior with a 38-9 record as he takes on Matthew Paulos from Whitnall. Westby, they got to go, or I shouldn't say got to go. That's I don't know if that's a blessing or not, but they were sent down to Mineral Point too, weren't they?
Yes, they were. Yeah. We got a pin
down there by Riley from Mineral Point at 145 as that number 1 ranked wrestler moves on for Mineral Point there with a fall. So that's going to move us up to our last match at 152, and that's number 3 ranked Ashton Meese. We're going to watch him more today, especially since his next opponent could be Lincoln Manning from Ithaca, Weston. But Ashton Meese, the fine senior, 46-4, takes on Landon Lasvowski. That's one of those I should have let Ken pronounce.
I know, there's some there that, holy Toledo.
Yeah. But anyway, Ashton with an early takedown, 160. in our center mat, we're up to a Royal wrestler, and that would be Sam's son, Degner. A sophomore, 21-17, taking on Emerson Moan from Iowa Grand Highland, the fine junior from that school, ranked number 6 in the state right now. And Emerson is up 4-1 in that bout. We look down at Vatlin's match down there. He's up 2-0, but he's going to receive a stalling warning here at the end of the first period with 2 seconds to go. Meese now up in his mat, down on the black mat, 4-1, as he's kind of taking control, and then 4-1 in our center mat with Moan out in front. He will defer going into the second period, and Degner will choose neutral. We're pretty well moving into the second period, except for in Meese's match down there, as he's still riding in control down there. So we're just passing the halfway point here in the first round. As I mentioned earlier, as we were attending the coaches meeting, the intent right now would be to pretty well fly through the semifinals of the men's action. And then as we're doing some, I think they were talking about as we're doing some of the wrestleback matches coming off of the semifinal losers and the losers from the first round, that they would try to work in those few women's semifinal actions that we have. I think there's only 3 weight classes that we have semifinal action in the women's tournament.
Uh-huh.
And then we'll take, the plan is then after setting up for the placement matches, we'll take a break, and then we will do our championship action in the men's side of the tournament, and then come back with the female side of the tournament for finals, and then do any wrestlebacks that are needed. As Vatlin getting real close to a fall down there, we want to watch that on mat number 1, the purple mat. Very close to a fall there. There's a fall on the other end by Meese at 152. As you watched him, as he secured that, and we'll move on to the semifinals. Vatlin has to be really close down there. Now switching off just to reverse half. Got a lot of time left here in the second period. 25 seconds to go, but I'm sure he'd like to see it end right here as we get real close to a fall in the center mat.
Yeah.
That's at 160, and there's the fall down there by Vatlin too. So pound and pound, Ken.
Yeah, Emerson Moan of Iowa Grand Highland picks up the pin over Samson Degner of Royal. He will move on to the semifinals now. We should have Colton Clark of Kickapoo Lafarge coming up soon.
Should, yes.
And he's going to take on a tough one. He's got Kelvin Hargrove out of Aquinas. Well, we'll keep an eye out for him. We do have on mat number 3, Fenimore wrestler coming out. That is going to be Tristan Stout, and he's going to be taking on Ben Lean of, Blair Taylor?
Blair Taylor, yes.
They're
Tristan Stout, number 1 ranked in the state at 160. And as Ken mentioned earlier, Hargrove right now is number 2 ranked. So that's going to be an interesting match probably later today.
Right. Nice little single leg dump here right in front of us on the orange mat.
152 on mat number 1. That's that fine freshman that Ken and I have been watching most of the year, Jackson Bussey, 32-8, as he takes on Abraham Henderson from Cochran Fountain City, and he gets the first takedown. .160 in the middle mat. I believe that's another Independence wrestler, Mason Garoke from Independence Gilmanton, takes on Jimmy Tibbetts from Mineral Point. Tibbetts right now out in front and trying to run an armbar.
Well, I tell you what, that is a tight one right now.
And if he gets him over, it's going to be hard not to pin him. Oh, good move there, though.
He just couldn't secure that that right arm.
Wasn't able to lock it up.
Yeah.
Stout coming real close to a fall down there. There it is.
And he has that taken care of. Stelt moving on.
Ken said, we hope you're enjoying this action. Keep in mind as you're watching at home, you can see the matches live on our screen, but it's always a good idea, as we do here at our site, pull up Track Wrestling. It's a free entry that you can get into, and you can watch along either through the hub or through the bracket and see match results there if you miss something. Moving on to 170 now, we're going to move to on our far mat down there. And that's going to be Gavin Hinderman from Iowa Grand Highland, as he will take on, oh wait, I got Riverdale wrestler down, my fault. Number 1 ranked David Moline from Aquinas. He takes on Dietrich Buckles from Riverdale in a 170-pound bout there on mat number 1. So a tall tale for Buckles, taking on number 1 ranked wrestler from Aquinas, Moline. 160 in the center mat there, so we actually got 3 weight classes going at once. That's always like that, Ken.
Of course.
Shuffle my paperwork. Bussy still leading down there in that 152-pound bout. That's our last one down there. He's leading 2-1 there as we're in the second period now against Henderson from CFC. Our center mat, Tibbetts still out in front. He's scored more back points against the young man from Independence, Gilmanton. We look back and we see where Moline is at, and he has Buckles in a lot of trouble. A 5-0 lead in scoring more back points, and he could end that match down there in the first period. Now he's got that double armbar locked up tight, but then one arm slipped out and he lost it. But it will be 8-0. Going to give up an escape. Still 25 seconds to go. Buckles tries a move, but almost got caught on his back, but does give up the takedown. So 10-1 with 15 seconds to go. Looking down here at mat number 1, young man from CFC trying to lock up a grabby thing. Tibbetts close to giving up a reversal here on mat number 2, the orange mat, and he does. So now it's 6-2 in that match. Moline goes in the second period with that 10-1 lead. Fine job by Bussy here in this second period as he rides it out and still leads 2-1 going into the third period, and he'll go down. Still 17 seconds left here in the second period in that 160-pound bout. 6-2 in favor of Tibbetts. It's like Ken said, almost when you get some matches that are, closely contested, you get into that point where it's almost a lull that you kind of enjoy the quiet.
No kidding. Which is really weird.
I'll tell you one thing, if you're at home, you might want to consider catching up on our broadcast here, because it's very quickly becoming standing room only here in the Richland Center gym, which is exciting to see.
Yeah, you like to see that in all the corners, and you got where the coaches are over to our left, but you have fans Kenny cornered across from us, across by the purple mat, and then down to our right on the end as you walk in, that's standing room only. Well, Riverdale
gets pinned down there by Moline, their number 1 wrestler, at 170. And a pin by Bussy down there at 152 for Iowa Grand Highland. So 152 is set for the semifinals. Tibbetts coming close to scoring a fall. We've got another Ithaca wrestler down there on your mat, Ken.
Yeah, at 182. Yes.
That would be Wyatt Hilby. And he gets a call test taking on Jackson Schrammick from Blair Taylor, number 3 ranked wrestler in the state right now at 182.
Yeah, a junior and a sophomore, as Schrammick coming in as a junior. And, yeah, he's a tough one for sure.
We have the other Hargrove wrestler, Calvin Hargrove, number 2 ranked in the state. He takes on Colton Clark from Kickapoo Lafarge, and he has him in a lot of trouble right away too. There's the fall. That happened very quickly, 30 seconds for Hargrove from Aquinas. You're going to hear a lot of Aquinas today. They're extremely talented in the upper weight classes.
Yeah, they are, aren't they? I mean, you look at that, no wonder they had such a great football team.
Yep. He'll be in a tight match down there in his 182-pound bout. He's so far given Schrammick just about everything he wants. Moving down to our Caston wrestler down here at 170. First one of them I think we've seen in a while. Oh, we saw one early, that's right.
Colin O'Neill down there.
O'Neill taking on another Ithaca wrestler, Ithaca Weston, David Fargen, the senior, with a fine 40-12 record. So these two have probably already seen each other a few times.
They have. They actually wrestled in the championship match at the Scenic Ridge and Valley, however you want to call it. And Fargen eked out a close one in that championship match. So, yeah, it might be a little payback. We'll have to wait and see.
10-4, Tibbetts wins in our center mat. That completes 160. So we'll move on.
Down here, still no score on our black mat.
So we got Ithaca Weston on both ends.
Down here at 170 pounds coming out onto the mat, it's Iowa Grant Highland. And let's see, that is Bragger, or is that Independence?
Independence Gilmanton.
Gilman, and he is going to take it on Hinderman of Iowa Grant Highland.
You saw down there, Schrammick had a nice snap drag against Hilby, and now leads after the first period there, 2-0. Beautiful move by him.
Well, he is he's a powerful wrestler, and he's slick with things.
We have a score down there by O'Neill as he got an early takedown with 30 seconds to go. He leads Fargen 2-0.
Trying to come in with a single leg attack here. Hinderman at 170 has the single leg, trying to dump. Oh, he got flipped over, got to roll through it, and he's able to do so. He's very close to getting the takedown, and there it is. Boy, watch out for this match. It's who's going to get who.
Fargen got an escape down there with 15 seconds to go now, in tight with that match. And I'm impressed with what's happening down here by Hilby. He's given Schrammick, Jackson Schrammick from Blair Taylor, everything he wants. Now might even tried a nice shot there, but Schrammick countered it and got the takedown, and now leads 4-0. Going into second period down there in our match between O'Neill and Fargen, 2-1 in favor of O'Neill. Tie score in our center mat as they go out of bounds. 4-1 down there in our 182-pound bout as Hilby gets on the board with an escape in deep on a single leg, and he did a nice job of hanging on to that. He could have gave up a takedown there, Ken, but he did a nice job of doing some spaghetti wrestling. Hey, he didn't even realize how nice a job he did. He thought he got taken down. Oh, he did give him the takedown, so he was right. Did give him the takedown, so 6-1 the score down there. Tie score down here on the purple mat, mat 1, is Fargen gets away and now ties that match up. As Ken said, they've gone back and forth, so these two know each other pretty well. Our center mat, we have the young man from Independence Gilmanton. That's Brager. He's up 4-2 in that. Got a match there. Hinderman right now is number 9, and Brager is number 13 in the state. O'Neill down here, that's another one. 2 ranked wrestlers. Fargen right now is 10 in the state, and O'Neill is 11 in the state.
Wow.
We'll see as we go through all these weight classes. Southwest Wisconsin is well represented in this super regional, at least as far as rankings. And we expect this sectional to be well represented down at the state tournament too.
You would certainly think so. Brager of Independence Gilmanton has picked up a 6-2 lead here on the orange mat. And now it's Schremick out in front 10-2. Give him a reversal there. And I'm looking, yep, it is going to be a 12-2 score over Hilby of Ithaca Weston.
Starting to wear him down a little bit now.
Yep. Now letting Hilby go here in the release.
Fine match down here. They're going to have some blood time, but I just want you to keep watching it down there. 2-2 score going into the third period between Fargen and O'Neill. So we'll kind of watch these other two matches right now. And still that 9-2 score out here in favor of the young man from Independence Gilman. That's Gavin Brager, senior, coming in with a 36-9 record.
Schremick picked up another takedown. He's got some back points coming, I think.
Yeah, and sure looks like it.
That's going to be close. There's going to be 3 for the near fall.
Up by 14 then.
Yeah.
Hilby gave him a good match, but it just seems like the experience and the strength, and Hilby's fairly strong, but seems like he just wore him down.
Hilby's a good little athlete, but again, a sophomore, and you know, it's the first maybe opportunity to wrestle in a big tournament like this when you got a state tournament trail on the side for you.
But this is another one of those that, based on who he's wrestling, number 3 ranked wrestler in the state, you would give him a shot here and at least going to get one more match today.
Yeah.
And after you get that opportunity, it's all in what you do with it.
You got quite the match here now with it's a 2-2 score down there with O'Neill and Fargen. My goodness, I turned and looked away, and all of a sudden you got that tie match.
Yep.
And we got a 9-4 score, a 9-4 Brager of Independence Gilmanton out in front here, but now he's got to fight off a pinning combination.
Fargen's got to be careful down here because, like you said, it is a tied score, but he's in the tough position of being the top wrestler. And now he receives a warning for stalling there.
Schremick does pick up the win, by the way.
That in a regular decision or a fall?
It was, I don't think it was a fall. I think it was a major decision.
Okay. So that moves him on. That'll bring on Renish from Riverdale. Caden Renish taking on Eric Kleinhans from Whitnall. Renish right away scores an early takedown in that match.
3-2 score as Fargen releases O'Neill. That on the Ithaca mat. O'Neill in on a tight single leg here. Fargen trying to keep things tight. And O'Neill's going to secure the takedown on a nice reach behind to the far ankle. And he now has a 5-2 lead with 30 seconds remaining. On our orange mat, there's going to be the fall. And Brager will pick up the win. He will move on. I'm assuming, have we seen Moline? Did he wrestle already?
Yeah, he got a pin.
He did, okay. I kind of thought he did, but.
We have a pin down there by Renish at 182. Riverdale. He moves on to the semifinals. Should complete 170 here real quick. This should be Blaschke from Fenimore coming out here against Kellen Getzinger. Final down there for O'Neill as he wins 5-3 down there at 170. So Fargent season is going to depend on O'Neill beating either Getzinger or Bloschke
Yeah,
in the next round.
it's gonna be a tough one. We'll see how that all plays out.
So we move up to 195 down on our far mat, the black mat. And that should be another fine wrestler from Aquinas, Tyson Martin, a freshman at 195 with a 35-4 record. He takes on Graham Fitzsimmons from Mineral Point, a senior.
That's just remarkable. A freshman up that heavy doing so well.
Then we're going to see our first Lancaster wrestler of the day. And that's Bryce Gall, a senior, taking on another Cashton wrestler, Jack Shire. Jack.
Yep.
I thought for a second I thought it was Jack's son, but I used to say that name last week with Boston wrestler here.
Oh, sure. I got to turn my mic down again here, Kirk, so I'll leave it to you for a moment.
All right. I'll try to keep the there. We got a pin in our center mat at 170. That'll complete that weight class, and that's what we thought would maybe be number 8 ranked wrestler in the state, Nathan Blaschke, moves on, and he'll take on Colin O'Neill in the semifinal action. So we're very quickly getting up to the upper 4 weight classes, and this round could quickly be over, and then we'll go right into the semifinals. Gall has a really tight cradle in down there against Schreier, and there's the fall down there for the young man from Lancaster, and he will move on to the semifinals. There's a fall down at the other end at 195. That would be Martin from Aquinas gets the fall over Fitzsimmons from Mineral Point. So we're moving on real quickly. We should have in our center mat, we have our final match at 182. That would be Ryan McCoy from Hillsborough taking on Wyatt Annan from Fenimore, the junior, ranked 6th in the state with a 23-4 record. So that's our last 182-pound bout, and we're at 195 at the other two. The mat number, our purple mat down here at 195, we have from Fenimore, we have Cameron Wolf, the senior, 34-10, taking on Byron Rogstad from Blair Taylor, a senior, 36-10. Then down at the far end, the black mat, there's a fall in our center mat, and that would be at 182, and that would be Anand coming up with a pin there from Fenimore. So that completes that weight class with a fall. Come back here and catch up on that black mat. That's Brody Brokop from Iowa Grant, the sophomore, 28-17. He takes on Wyland Grimm from Pittsville, a senior with a 10-6 record. No score in that bout. Down there in our Wolf match, Wolf is out in front 2-0. Going to move on to 220 in our center mat, and that's going to be the junior Brady Leonard from Aquinas as he takes on Hudson Brown, the senior from Iowa Grant Highland. Score down there. Oh, big move by the young man from Aquinas. That would be at 220. That's Leonard. He's got Brown in a lot of trouble right away here in the first period. A 5-point move down on our format. There's the pin by Leonard. As we said, Aquinas is. These are the weight classes they're tough, or at least respectable, all the way up to 220. So a nice first period pin there. That's going to move us. Real quickly, that's going up to 220 now. And that would be Paxton Hankey a senior from Lancaster, 25-5, and he will take on Drew Brager from Independence Gilmanton in that quarterfinal action. Another quarterfinal action down there at 195. It's the young man from Iowa Grant still out in front there, 2-0. And down in Wolf's match, he just scored a reversal starting the second period, and he is out Dalton Wolf 4-0 over Brad Nave of Pittsville. Bringing you up to date here, we're at 195 and 220 on the brackets here right now, or the weight classes or wrestling matches. So not a lot of matches left, and we're going to be done with this first round. And as we thought, just took a little listening time there. He was talking about semifinals and consolation semifinals. Thought he might have said they're going to take a break, but I don't know if they are or not.
Oh.
Usually they don't, but we'll see. When they call them on deck, we'll be ready.
Yeah.
4-1 down here on the purple mat. And that's at 195. That's Wolf from Fenimore taking on Rogstad from Blair Taylor. Still out in front there. But now a nice cradle by Rogstad, and he's going to make it a lot tighter at 4-3 in that bout. Still no score in the 220-pound bout in the center there. And that's Hankey from Lancaster against Brager from Independence. Then in our far mat there at 195, just saw a score there by the young man from Pittsville. So he tightens that match against Brokop. 2-1, though, in favor of Brokop. Little lull in the action here as we get close to the end of this first round. It's not too often, Ken, that you expect to see Mineral Point and Fenimore sitting side by side. They kind of filled up that far side over there with the maroon and blue.
Yeah.
Nice to see.
Big reversal over there.
Yep, Wolf
mat
scored.
one.
6-3 now as they go into the third period. First period ends here in our middle mat, 0-0. Can't believe that happened with Boyer out there. 2-1 down there as we end the. Oh, there we got a reversal at the last, or takedown there at the last minute of the second period. So 4-1 in favor of. That would be 95. There's a pin down there by Wolf on mat number 1. We'll come back and update you on that other 95-pound. That was Wolf from Fenimore as they continue to keep rolling here. There's no team score today, but we will tell you about it later on because they do track it. And it is interesting to see, but right now I'd say Fenimore is making a big run.
For sure.
Getting real close to points here in our middle mat. We'll come back to our 195-pound mat here. That's a young man from Iowa Grand Highland as he scores more back points to add to that 4-1 lead that he had going into this period.
Well, that's Bode. Bode. I don't know if they say Bode. Is it just Bode? I think it's just Bode. Brockup.
Bode.
Yeah, Brockup. I tell you what, his it was so interesting because that's part of when Chuck and I were teaching ag at Lancaster, and his dad, one of the mainstays for us. One of our kids, we always call it, right?
There you go, yeah.
He's probably 40-some now.
He's not a. Oh, we got a Cashton wrestler down. My fault here, everybody. That would be at 220. That's at 195. That's your name to pronounce.
That's Tirado there, yeah.
Yep, Tirado Lopez.
Erixus Tirado Lopez.
Erixus. I always like when you pronounce that name. Erixus.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I like him.
We got a fall down there, Ken.
Yeah, Brockup picks up the pin, and he is going to move on.
Rixus, though, has got a big challenge down there taking on Ryan McCartney, the number 3 ranked wrestler in the state for Lancaster. He's back in action.
Yeah.
Missed the clash and then came back for your super regional last week.
Yeah, nice to see him back on the mat. He was kind of banged up a little bit, but I think he's good and healthy now and ready to make a good push here, trying to get to that state tournament.
3-0 score on our center mat. That's the other wrestler from Lancaster. That's Hankey with a 3-0 lead down there. Another Blair Tail wrestler taking on down there. And that's where another, oh wait, that's, they move around down there? Oh, okay.
220. So that is Fenimore. That's the other Wolf. That's Dalton Wolf taking on Brad Navy from Pittsville.
That's not a Pittsville uniform.
No, it's
though.
not, is it? That's more of a Blair Taylor kind of a. That's who it is. So maybe there was a change there.
Did Marshall Shelf get hurt or something?
We're
We're gonna have to see if he shows up here.
Well, Marshall's down on the bottom.
Yeah, but Marshall was supposed to wrestle the Blair Taylor wrestler.
Oh, that's right. What is going on there?
That is Dalton Wolf from Fenimore.
Well, if Marshall, so Marshall was the top. He was a champion.
He was a champion.
So
yep.
if they move somebody up, so maybe he's got to wrestle a number 5 person now.
If Marshall's not wrestling, then Wolf moved up. Then I guess we'll see who wrestles.
Oh, there you go. That's true. You're right.
Pittsville wrestler.
Let me check here.
Yeah, I'll
and
let
see.
you check that out since we've got Ithaca people right beside us here. .195 down there as McCartney builds his lead against Lopez. He's now up 9-0 into the second period, and he will get a stalling point. There's a pin in the center mat, and that's Peyton Hankey from Lancaster, or Hankey, excuse me, gets a pin there, and he moves on to the semifinal action. So he's your semifinalist for Lancaster. Far in there, as we mentioned before, McCartney still doing well down there with that 10-0 lead now. Moving up to 285 in our center mat now. That'll be our first match at 285 here in the center mat. And that will be the young man from Mineral Point, Matt Arrett, as he takes on Keenan Josette from New Lisbon. Still no score on 220 down there on the far mat. And that is Wolf. And we've decided, is that Navy or is that someone else?
No, I think it is Navy, but we're not sure what's going on, and maybe the brackets are wrong. I think we're just going to have to kind of sit back. I'm not seeing Self anywhere out there right now.
Well, he could be still on deck.
Could be, yes.
I'll bring my computer up here again and see what I can see. He should be at least on deck.
Well, I can look here quick too, Kirk, and see if I got. No,
he is on deck, and he's going to wrestle. They must have switched some kids around there. He's going to wrestle Larson, it says now.
Okay, well, Wolf just picked up the pin over Navy.
And Wolf was wrestling Blair Taylor, the Evacular.
Okay.
So they must have put him in the bracket wrong.
Yeah.
But Wolf gets the pin, as you said.
Right below us here at 285 pounds. Well, McCartney just picked up a pin.
That was on mat number 1 against Torado Lopez. So Lancaster's McCartney moves on to the semifinals. That completes 195. So we're down to our last 2 weight classes. We have one match at 220. We should be seeing South, though, is on deck.
Yeah, Marshall's down here
mat
on
three.
3
There
now.
he's on
Yep.
mat 3. Okay.
And let's see, that is going to be.
It's Corbin Larson, a freshman from Whitehall.
Oh, wow, okay.
So they must have did some switching around there.
Yeah. Well, Marshall's not taking anything lightly. He's going right after things. At 285 pounds, we got a 5-2 score here on this orange mat with Mineral Point and New Lisbon. That's quite a tussle going on here, Kirk.
And we got our another Ithaca wrestling wrestler down here on the Ithaca mat, and that would be Ryan Biermeyer. Is he number 13 in the state? He takes on Jacobo Medina from Independence Gilmanton. No score in the first 20 seconds of that match. Self close to getting a fall down there, and there it is on mat number 3. So we got Marshall in the tournament. We at least found him, and he comes back with a first period fall. He will take on Hankey in the semifinals. We're now getting real close to where we're going to be done with this round.
Did Lynn here win on 220 up on the top?
Yes.
He did. Okay.
Pinned
Thank
him
you.
early.
Oh, he did. Thank you. All right.
We're down to probably our last 4 bouts here. We got 285 on all 3 matches. The only one I think we're missing must be called on deck somewhere. And there I see they're already calling on deck 106-pound bouts. We're going to have to get his name up there real quick. Evan Gotts is taking on the young man Caden Beslich from Pittsville, and he's got him in a lot of trouble right away. There's the pin as Gotts from Fenimore gets the first period fall there in 23 seconds.
Gratz was, by the way, he was a All-American at Fargo this year. Third, I believe, was his placement in, I want to say, Greco and maybe even in freestyle.
Yep. Third ranked in the state right now, and he holds up to that ranking.
Yeah.
See our 6-pounders hitting the mat down there on mat number 3 that's 13 pound.
Oh, wow. Well,
Biermeyer in a lot of trouble down there on mat number 1. Close to giving up the fall unless the clock saves him. 4-2 right now.
wow.
Going to be a near fall there. It's going to be 7-2.
5-2 the score remains here at 285.
We're going to go semifinal action. We're going to go all the way up to 13. And that is going to be Lucas Orloff. He's going to take on Brett Birchman from Fenimore.
Josette is leading. I believe it's Josette that's leading, correct? At 285. Yes, he is leading Aurit from Mineral Point.
They still got him on top, so you're right.
Well, we just wound up with a hard crossface, so that's going to be a point for Biermeyer.
There we go. 7-3 now. Semi-final action down there on mat number 3, the black mat.
I was kind of hoping they'd wait until the big boys got done here, you know.
Oh, Biermeyer's now got a reversal. He's got a chance to, with a Granby roll here, he's got a chance to score some back points. Oh, and he let him go.
He just couldn't pull him back,
Yeah, just couldn't pull him back. But now tightens this match up. We're in the second period with a minute to go, 7-5. Oh, now he's got him in trouble.
Oh, boy.
There it is. Wow. Medina tried to do a roll, and Biermeyer just slipped through it, and Medina ended up flat on his back, and Biermeyer gets the fall.
Well, we got a big match coming up here locally with Austin Culpet of Cashton and Ty Nottestead of Westby. These two Well, they've never met throughout the year because Nottestead was at 195, Kirk,
Yep.
and bumped up to 285. So, and you can see the difference in their builds as they walk out onto the mat. It is going to be a big difference here. Let's put it that way.
This is still a size wrestler that Nottestead should be able to compete with.
You would think, he's got some leverage in there. It's the big thing is, the power aspect. That's going to be the interesting one.
Like you said last week, if he can use he was able last week in a couple of his matches to use his agility and maneuverability.
Yes.
You just got to be careful when he gets up against guys like Gotts from Fenimore.
Yeah.
That it's a whole different story.
Right.
In deep on a single leg, but a nice counter crossface by Culpit. And now he's got Nottestead in a lot of trouble. Going to probably at least get the takedown in the near fall. Thought Nottestead was going to come up with that single leg, but this is where that size factor and weight factor, like you said, is going to be a challenge.
Makes a big difference, yes. Going to use a little chest crusher move here with that arm trapped.
Yeah, he's got him in a lot of trouble again. 8-2 down there, Birchman over Olaf at 113 in our only semifinal action.
5-3 the score remains here with Josette and Ulrich.
Nottestad's going to be real fortunate if he.
Oh.
I was going to say he's going to be real fortunate if he gets out of that, Ken, and then he got pinned.
Well, he's going to have to hope for Austin Culpit to pull off a huge upset here.
Yes, he will.
Against Evan Gratz. That's not going to be an easy one.